the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today from Diamond/Marvel Select, we are featuring Beta Ray Bill. Alright, so this is a hefty, chunky boy. This is an incredibly large action figure. I believe he stands in at almost 10 inches from his foot to the top of his mohawk. This is a Diamond Select figure, and it comes in, as usual, in these giant packages. You know, it's a big bubble on the giant card. On the back, we have the comic book illustration of Beta Ray Bill. I believe this is artwork done by Mike Deodato, I think. I might be wrong on that. So this portrays Beta Ray Bill as he appears in his 2021 miniseries. I passed up on the last Beta Ray Bill figure, which was the Marvel Legends, and I think it belonged to, I think one of the Avengers Endgame waves. It was the one where I think it came with, like, that wave included, I think, War Machine, Rescue, and the Build-A-Figure, I think, was Professor Hulk. But I wasn't too keen on that design. But this one, I think, looks amazing, and I couldn't say no to this. It looks great. He has the giant mohawk, and he has Stormbreaker. I think this figure has 16 points of articulation. From what I studied on it, this figure was designed by Yuri Tamig, and it was sculpted by Gentle Giant. So, let's get started. I don't know if there's an easy way to open this. This box is huge. Oh wow, this is wild. We'll talk about this in a minute. It comes with this crazy, like, spinning hammer effect. Look at that, that's crazy. We have the Marvel Select Diamond Select brochure that's always included with the figures. And and we have Beta Ray Bill, looking incredible. This is a beast of an action figure. This is like heavy as a brick. Let's take a look at the brochure real quick. So this is Marvel licensed products from Diamond Toys. So here's some of the Diamond action figures. The Thing figure is awesome. I actually have that one. The Diamond Marvel Select action figures are a larger scale than the Marvel Legends. They have more or less amount of articulation, but these are really much more display pieces than stuff you'd actually play with. These are almost like miniature statues that just happen to have articulation. Personally, I prefer Marvel Select over Marvel Legends just because I think they look amazing. They feel more like art pieces. But I do understand the popularity of the Marvel Legends figures. You know, they're more affordable. They're much more readily available. And they have a much larger catalog of characters. This Thanos figure is amazing also. That's actually one of my favorite Diamond Marvel Select action figures. Alright, so this guy is huge. This guy's big as a house. Man, this is gigantic. Let's pull out the ruler and get an accurate height on him. So Beta Ray Bill stands in at 10 inches from the bottom of his foot to the top of his mohawk. About 8.5 inches if you don't count the mohawk. Here he is next to Vulcan from the Marvel Legends line. This figure came out last year, just to give you an idea of the size. Yeah, so Beta Ray Bill, this guy is a beast. Look at that. He's gigantic. This guy features, I think, 16 points of articulation, if I read that correctly. The detailing, first off, the colors are amazing. The shade of red they use is really deep. It's really beautiful. And the contrast with that against this kind of like gold, I think, is perfect, especially with the black. The black's kind of a much more satin finish. The gold isn't very... It's not too reflective. It's just right. It's not it doesn't possess a lot of luster to it. It just looks very clean and even, if I had to describe it. His flesh tone is kind of that orange that he's known for. The mohawk has a beautiful gradation from like black to like red. And if you catch it in the right sunlight or the right lighting conditions, the edges get really brought out and it kind of creates this highlighting edge effect, which looks fantastic. Same with parts of the cape. Parts of the cape have some shading applied to it to really bring out the folds and wrinkles. And it just kind of presents a character that's very Romanesque. It kind of portrays a sense of regalness about this guy, and it's very impressive. I am so happy with this piece. Here is Stormbreaker. It's almost more mallet-like than hammer. And then here's that crazy effect that I was talking about. So this kind of recreates the effect like whenever Thor or Beta Ray Bill spin the hammer. You know, they grab it by the straps and they start twirling it around. And this kind of recreates that effect. You know, you just plug this into his hand, which is very tight fitting, actually. And then you kind of recreate that effect that he's spinning the hammer. It's not perfect, but it's very, very cool. I can really appreciate the fact that they gave us this. And this is a very hard plastic. This is something that I'd be careful of. You know, if you accidentally stepped on this, it wouldn't flex. This thing would crack. So just a word of caution. It appears to be made of two separate plastic plates that are pressed together. And let's take a look at Beta Ray Bill up close. Again, I can't stress it enough. Very beautiful figure. The head sculpt is amazing. His eyes are kind of whited out. He has that extended snout and the teeth. It's almost like a very horse-like face. He has the wings on the helm, and the mohawk's awesome too. Now the mohawk, it's not perfectly straight. I'm not sure if this is the way it's designed, but it kind of has a nice waviness to it, which kind of presents a much more realistic look. The giant belt kind of reminds me of Ultimate Thor. It almost looks like a championship title from like the WWE or something. But yeah, beautiful figure. This is one of those things that when I saw it, I knew I had to pull the trigger on it. I wasn't too keen on the last Marvel Legends Beta Ray Bill, but this one I think takes the cake. This one's amazing. Look at that crazy mohawk. God, the crest on the helmet, it looks amazing. It's so gigantic. it's huge. Now, the one thing with the Marvel Diamond Select action figures is, like I said, the articulation isn't the greatest. These figures feel much more like small statues that just happen to have articulation. His head, it rotates. The arms move. Unfortunately, with all this armor, it kind of prohibits the arms from, the range of motion from going too far up. He does have a bicep cut. Single jointed elbow. It's kind of tight. I'm not going to force it right now. Articulated wrists. He's cut mid-torso, so he kind of moves around. But the suspender kind of deals kind of prohibit too much motion. If he swivels at the waist, it's kind of hard to move just because of the belt here. His legs kick up, again, very prohibitive because of the amount of armor. Double jointed knees and articulated ankles. In all honesty, this is the kind of figure that you really can't pose all that well, just even though it does have 16 points of articulation. Due to the weight of the figure, the thickness of the cape, which does not have any flex or give. This guy's a very static action figure. This is something you're not going to be able to pose dynamically. If anything, he's just going to be on your shelf, with his hammer in hand. And the thumb and fingers, very, very tight. You're going to have to soften this up in hot water to get to pry them apart if you want to fit this in, because the handle is pretty thick. So, yeah, that's kind of a point against it. But for the most part, beautiful figure. Incredibly impressed. The price point on this guy, I believe I paid, $29 for him, which isn't bad considering Marvel Legends figures run anywhere between $22 to $25, like at normal retail. And when you compare like this, a $22 to $25 figure against this, a $29, $30 figure, you're definitely getting more bang for your buck with this big hefty guy right here. Excellent figure. Well worth the purchase, and for me, wow, this is like one of those pieces that just really wows me right now. I'm so happy I got this. Excellent piece all around. If you're into like Thor, if you want to build up a nice roster of Asgardians, or if you just like big chunky action figures, this is your jam. You need this figure. It's amazing. All right, with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. All right, later.